We knew something was wrong the moment we smelled the food. Not the kind of smell you'd expect in the middle of a deserted mountain village. It smelled like fresh stew, hot, recently cooked. The strange thing was, there was no one there, not a single person. But the fire under the pot was still burning, and the chairs around the table looked like people had just stood up and walked away. At the time, we thought we had stumbled onto something strange. Now, I know the truth. We didn't find an abandoned village. We found a place where everyone disappeared at the exact same moment. And after spending one night there, I think I know why. This happened 3 years ago. Me and my two friends, Daniel and Marcus, had been hiking through a remote mountain range for a weekend trip. The trail we were following wasn't very popular. It was one of those old routes that barely appeared on maps anymore. The plan was simple: hike for 2 days, camp somewhere scenic, head back Sunday afternoon. The weather was perfect: cold mountain air, clear skies, the kind of quiet you only hear deep in the wilderness. But on the second day, something unexpected happened. We found a road. It was an old dirt road cutting through the forest, not completely overgrown, which meant someone must have used it, at least recently. Marcus checked the map. "There's nothing here," he said. But curiosity got the better of us, so we followed it. After about 20 minutes of walking, the trees started to thin out, and then we saw it: a village. There were maybe 15 small houses, wooden, old, but still standing. The strange thing was the condition. The buildings didn't look abandoned. No broken windows, no collapsed roofs, just quiet. Too quiet. Daniel frowned. "Where is everyone?" The door of the first house was wide open. We stepped inside. The furniture looked normal: table, chairs, dishes, but the table was set for dinner. 4 plates, 4 glasses, and a pot sitting in the middle. Marcus lifted the lid. Steam rose into the air. The stew inside was still warm. We all stared at each other. Someone had cooked this recently, but the house was empty. We started checking the other houses. Every single one looked the same: beds made, food on tables, tools lying where people had been using them. In one house, a deck of cards was spread across the table, like someone had been in the middle of a game, and then suddenly stopped. Not packed up, not cleaned, just stopped. It felt like the entire village had paused. At the edge of the village, we found a small building with a faded wooden sign. It was a schoolhouse. Inside were tiny desks and chalkboards. But what caught my attention was the chalk writing on the board. It read, "Do not answer the call." Underneath it was something else, a drawing. It looked like a tall shape standing in the forest, watching. At the time we finished exploring, the sun was starting to set. Marcus suggested we camp outside the village, but Daniel said something that changed everything. If people left in a hurry, maybe there's a reason. We decided to stay inside one of the houses for the night. Looking back, that was our biggest mistake. Around midnight, I woke up to a sound, a distant whistle, soft, echoing through the trees. At first, I thought it was wind, but then it happened again, closer this time. Marcus sat up. "You hear that?" Daniel nodded slowly. The whistle came again, from the forest. Then we heard something else. Footsteps, walking through the village streets, slow, deliberate. But when we looked out the window, there was no one there. The whistle sounded again, right outside the house. Then something whispered from the darkness. "Hello?" It sounded like Marcus, except Marcus was sitting next to me. Marcus whispered, "I didn't say that." Then the voice spoke again. This time it sounded like Daniel. "Come outside." That's when we realized what the chalkboard warning meant. Do not answer the call. The thing outside
was copying voices, trying to lure us out. But the footsteps kept circling the house, slowly, patiently, like it knew we would eventually make a mistake. Then the door handle started moving, slowly, back and forth. Someone or something was testing it. Marcus held his breath. Then we heard something scrape across the wood, like claws. Daniel slowly walked to the window and lifted the curtain. Then he froze. His face went pale. I whispered, "What is it?" He stepped away from the window slowly. "There's more than one." We looked through the window together. Figures, tall, standing between the houses, not moving, watching, waiting. And then one of them spoke, but the voice wasn't human. It sounded like dozens of voices speaking at once. We ran straight into the forest. We didn't stop running until sunrise. When we finally reached the trail again, we told the authorities about the village. But when they searched the area, they couldn't find it. No road, no houses, no village, nothing. But sometimes, late at night, I hear a whistle outside my house, and it sounds exactly like my voice, calling from the dark.